3 years ago, since Jack and Joe set sail across the foam, each vowed a fortune he would gain before returning home. In 1 short year, Jack gained his wealth and started home that day. And when the pals shook hands to part, poor Joe could only say, "Give my love to Nellie, Jack, and kiss her once for me. The sweetest girl in all this world, I'm sure you say is she. Treat her kindly, Jack, old pal, and tell her I am well." His parting words were, "Don't forget to give my love to Nell." 3 years had passed when Joe at last gained wealth enough for life. He started home across the foam to make sweet Nell his wife. But when he learned that Jack and Nell 1 year ago had wed, with sobs and threats he now regrets that he had ever said, "Give my love to Nellie, Jack, and kiss her once for me. The sweetest girl in all this world, I'm sure you'll say is she. Treat her kindly, Jack, old pal, and tell her I am well." His parting words were, "Don't forget to give my love to Nell." They chanced to meet up on the street. Joe said, "You selfish elf. The very next girl I learn to love, I'll kiss her for myself." But all is fair in love, they say, as you have gone and wed. I'll not be angry with you, pal, so once again he said, "Give my love to Nellie, Jack, and kiss her once for me. The sweetest girl in all this world, I'm sure you'll say is she. Treat her kindly, Jack, old pal, and tell her I am well." His parting words were, "Don't forget to give my love to Nell." Well, you ought to see my Cindy, she lives away down south. She's so sweet, the honeybee swarms around her mouth. Get along home, home, Cindy, get along home, home, home. Get along home, home, Cindy, I'm gonna leave you now. When she saw me coming, she puckered up and cried. And when I went to leave her, she fainted away and died. Get along home, home, Cindy, get along home, home, home. Get along home, home, Cindy, I'm gonna leave you now. I wish I was an apple hanging on a tree, and every time that Cindy passed, she'd take a bite of me. Get along home, home, Cindy, get along home, home, home. Get along home, home, Cindy, I'm gonna leave you now. I took my Cindy to preaching, and what do you reckon she done? She stood right up in the preacher's face and started chewing gum. Cindy went to preaching, she shouted and she squealed. She got so full of glory, she tore her stocking heel. Now when you go fishing, fish with a hook and line. When you go to marry, never look back behind. Get along home, home, Cindy, get along home, home, home. Get along home, home, Cindy, I'm gonna leave you now. Cindy in the summertime, Cindy in the fall. If she can't be Cindy all the time, she won't be Cindy at all. I went down to Cindy's house, I did not go to stay. But when I saw that pretty little girl, I just couldn't get away. Get along home, home, Cindy, get along home, home, home. Get along home, home, Cindy, I'm gonna leave you now. You ask what makes this darky weep, why he, like others, am not gay. What makes the tears flow down his cheek from early morn till close of day? My story, dark as you shall hear, for in my memory fresh it dwells. 'Twill cause you all to drop a tear o'er the grave of my sweet Kitty Wells. I never shall forget the day that we together roamed the dell. I kissed her cheeks and named the day that I would marry Kitty Wells. But death came to my cabin door and took from me my joy and pride. And when I found she was no more, I laid my banjo down and cried. I sometimes wish that I were dead and laid beside her in the tomb. The sorrow that bows down my head is silent in the midnight gloom. The springtime has no charm for me, though flowers are blooming in the dell. For that bright form I do not see, 'tis the form of my sweet Kitty Wells. Along came the FFV, the fastest on the line, running o'er the C-No road a quarter behind time. Came running into Sewell, lies quartered on the line, waiting for strict orders, hitting away behind. There's a Minuteman been killed up on the railroad, on the railroad, on the railroad. There's a Minuteman been killed up on the railroad, sleeping in his lonesome grave. When she came to Sewell, her engineer was there. George Allen was his name, with light and curly hair. His fireman, Jackie Richardson, was standing by his side, waiting for his orders and in that cab to ride. Along came George's mother with his dinner on her arm and said, "My darling boy, be careful how you run, for many a man has lost his life while making up lost time. And if you run your engine right, you'll get there yet on time." George said, "Dear mother, to your warning I'll take heed. I know my engine is all right and she will surely speed. And o'er this road I mean to fly with a record unknown to all. And when I blow for the Big Bend Tunnel, they'll surely hear my call." George said to his fireman, "A rock ahead I see. I know that death is waiting there to grab both you and me. So from this cab now you must fly, your darling life to save. For I want you to be the engineer when I sleep in my grave. No, no, George, I cannot go, I want to die with you. No, no, Jack, that will not do, I'll die for me and you." So from his cab poor Jack did fly, New River she was high, And as he struck the water, old number 4 flew by. Up the road she darted, up on the rock she crashed. Upside down his engine turned, up on his breast she smashed. His head up on the far box door, the steam and water flowed. He said, I'm glad I'm an engineer to die on a C&O road. People came from miles around this engineer to see. George Allen said, God bless you, friends, I'm sure I'll soon be free. I cannot live much longer now, and I want to die, said he. I want to die on the engine I love, 143. There's a many men been killed up on the railroad, on the railroad, on the railroad. There's a many men been killed up on the railroad, sleeping in his lonesome grave. My sweetheart's a sly little fairy, though she's only sweet 17. Her parents think she's much too airy, but a sweeter girl never was seen. At night she steals out from the cottage. Her mother says, whither now, Kate? She answers, dear Ma, I'm not going far, only as far as the gate. Only as far as the gate, dear Ma, just down to the old garden gate. The moon is so bright and it's such a nice night, I'll stroll just as far as the gate. They say she's too young to be married, but with them we do not agree. Love's message to Katie I carried, and a kiss was the answer for me. We'll wander away in the moonlight, much longer I'm sure we can't wait. Some night by and by to the parson's we'll fly, when Katie comes down to the gate. Only as far as the gate, dear Ma, just down to the old garden gate. The moon is so bright and it's such a nice night, I'll stroll just as far as the gate. Our hands are clasped, they'll last forever. Perhaps we'll never meet again. I loved you as I could none other. This parting fills my heart with pain. You asked and freely I'll forgive you. The happy past I must forget. And though I wander on in sorrow, I hope that you'll be happy yet. As through this weary world I wander, my thoughts alone will be of you. In memory I see you ever. I loved you better than you knew. Perhaps when I have gone forever, you'll sometimes think that I've been true, and wonder if I'm dead or living. Perhaps I'll think the same of you. And when our friends are all departed, the friends you thought were tried and true, remember one you left heartbroken, had loved you better than you knew. So go and leave me if you want to. There's others I know just like you, but in your heart you'll love another, and in my grave I'd rather be. Jimmy Rodgers was born in Dixie about 35 years ago, from poor but honest parents. They were proud of him, we know. Ever since he'd been a youngster, he played his old guitar, and the neighbors all predicted he'd win fame wide and far. When Jimmy grew up to manhood, he went to Tennessee, and he worked on the Southern Railroad. A reckless breaky was he, but his health began to fail him, and he didn't last there long. But he always wore a great big smile and yodeled his brakeman song. Then one day he made some records, and he soon won lots of fame, bringing happiness to millions. Folks idolized his name, and in every civilized nation the voice of Jimmy was heard. He sang to cheer the millions, sang sweeter than a bird. Life's a cycle filled with sorrow, each day demands a toll. We can't predict the morrow for any living soul. So it was with Jimmy Rodgers when angels called one day. They needed a songbird in heaven, so they took our Jimmy away. There's an old guitar that's silent that Jimmy used to play, but the magic touch of music is missing here today. Jimmy's golden voice is up there where angels' sweet refrains, where God in his merciful heaven in glory ever reigns. See that true and trembling brakeman as he falls between the cars. Not one moment's warning had he. From those freight cars he was hurled. See those car wheels passing o'er him, o'er his mangled body and head. See his sister bending o'er him, crying, brother, are you dead? Dying, sister, yes, I'm dying, going to join the better shore. Oh, my father and my mother I shall never see no more. See that brave young engineer at the age of 21, as he's stepping from his engine, crying, now what have I done? Have I killed that faithful brakeman? Can it be that he is dying? Oh, I did my best to save him, but I could not stop in time. Dying, buddy, yes, I'm dying, going to join the better shore. Oh, my buddy on the TC, I shall never see no more. Sister, when you see my brother, These few words I send to him. Never, never venture breaking. If he does, his life will end. These few words that he had spoken clasped his hands across his breast, for his spirit all had left him, and his soul had gone to rest. One day as I wandered, I heard her complaining, and saw a poor woman, the picture of gloom. She glared at the mud on her doorstep, 'twas raining, and this was her wail as she wielded her broom. Oh, life is a toil, and love is a trouble, and beauty will fade, and riches will flee. And pleasures they dwindle, and prices they double, and nothing is what I could wish it to be. There's too much of worriment, goes to a bonnet. There's too much of ironing, goes to a shirt. There's nothing that pays for the time you waste on it. There's nothing that lasts us but trouble and dirt. In March it is mud, it is slush. In December the midsummer breezes are loaded with dust. In fall the leaves litter, in muggy September the wallpaper rots and the candlesticks rust. There's worms in the cherries and slugs in the roses, and ants in the sugar and mice in the pies. The rubbish of spiders no mortal supposes, and ravaging roaches and damaging flies. It's sweeping at 6 and it's dusting at 7. It's victuals at 8 and it's dishes at 9. It's potting and panning from 10 to 11. We scarce break our fast ere we plan how to dine. With grease, grime, and cobwebs from corner to center, forever at war and forever alert. No rest for a day lest the enemy enter. I spend my whole life in a struggle with dirt. Last night in my dreams I was stationed forever on a far little isle in the midst of the sea. My one chance for life was a ceaseless endeavor to sweep off the waves as they swept over me. At last was no dream, for again I behold it. I yield, I am helpless, my fate to avert. She rolled down her sleeves and her apron she folded, then laid down and died and was buried in dirt. Deep, deep in a lonely valley, where the violets fade and bloom, there sleeps my own Pearl Bryan, so silent in the tomb. She died not broken-hearted, nor from sickness did she fail, but in one moment parted from the home she loved so well. Last night the moon shone brightly, the stars were all aflame. Down to this maiden's cottage a jealous lover came. Come, love, and let us wander down to the meadow gate, and we will wonder and ponder o'er the coming of our wedding day. The way was cold and dreary, the night was coming on. Into that lonely valley he led this maiden on. Scott Jackson, I am tired of wandering here so long. The way is cold and dreary, I pray you take me home. You have not the wings of an eagle, nor from me can you fly. No human hand can save you, you instantly must die. What have I done, Scott Jackson, that you should take my life? You know I've always been good to you and promised to be your wife. Down on her knees before him, she pleaded for her life. Into that snowy bosom, he plunged a gleaming knife. Scott Jackson, I'll forgive you with my last and dying breath. I never have deceived you as I close my eyes in death. Down on his knees he bended, saying, oh, what have I done? I've murdered my Pearl Bryan, as pure as the rising sun. Now in that lonely valley, where the willows weep o'er her grave, Pearl Bryan lies forgotten, where the merry sunbeams play. Far away on the hills of old New Hampshire, many years ago we parted, Ruth and I, by the stream where we wandered in the gloaming. It was there I kissed my love, I said goodbye. She clung to me and trembled when I told her, and pleadingly she begged of me to stay. We parted and I left her broken-hearted in that old New Hampshire village far away. Now the sunbeam lingers near and the roses bloom as fair in the wildwood where together we would roam. In the village churchyard near sleeps the one I love so dear on the hills of my old New Hampshire home. In my dreams by the stream last night I wandered, and I thought my love was standing by my side. Once again I told her that I loved her. Once again she promised that she'd be my bride. But as I turned to kiss her I awakened. I called her but she was not there to hear. We parted and I left her broken-hearted in that old New Hampshire home I love so dear. Now the sunbeam lingers near and the roses bloom as fair in the wildwood where together we would roam. In the village churchyard near sleeps the one I love so dear on the hills of my old New Hampshire home. We read of a place that's called heaven. It's made for the pure and the free. These truths in God's word he hath given. How beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. Sweet home of the happy and free. Fair haven and rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be. In heaven no drooping nor pining, no wishing for elsewhere to be. God's light is forever there shining. How beautiful heaven must be. Pure waters of life they are flowing, and all who will drink may be free. Rare jewels of splendor are glowing. How beautiful heaven must be. The angels so sweetly are singing up there by the beautiful sea. Sweet chords from their golden harps ringing. How beautiful heaven must be. How beautiful heaven must be. Sweet home of the happy and free, fair haven of rest for the weary. How beautiful heaven must be.